My name's Roman Peshke. I run an $11,000 a month AI automation agency, and I record these videos every day documenting the journey, and then I answer you guys' questions below any and all of these videos. Then I go over what I did today, and we wrap up with my daily YouTube channel growth, all tracked in this little spreadsheet. So let's jump to the bottom of these comments, get through as many as we can, and let's get started. So sorry, but scientists can't bring dinos back. They can't be revived. DNA only lasts a few million years at best. Well, they vanished 66 million years ago. Fossils preserve bones, not genes. But good news, the only living legacy birds, just look at birds, chickens around you, and they're a direct descendant of dinosaurs. This is in response to a comment on one of the later videos. We were talking about how Sakshi wants to bring back extinct animals but can't do dinos. What was the single biggest bottleneck you faced scaling from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month, and how did you solve it? Honestly, the biggest bottleneck there was just it was lead flow. It was just inputs. So basically, when I first started it, I was splitting up my time all over the place, and I had done a couple hundred reach outs to get to the first paying customer. It was like $1,000 a month. Then slowed down, got stuck on fulfillment, didn't really have any systemized way of delivering, and I was kind of like, I didn't niche down immediately, and so I was kind of doing like more custom project type stuff. And since custom projects inherently have more back-end work to do, because it's not just like step 1, step 2, step 3, totally bogged me down, outreach dropped, and so I didn't get to 10K as fast as I could have. The way that I fixed that is I niched down, and then I just blocked out the first 4 hours of my day for lead generation activities. So that means, and it wasn't always 4 hours, but it was at least like good 2 hours a day were lead generation activities, which means cold calls, cold DMs, cold email, and then basically following up across all those channels after that. And then text if you have like a mobile phone that you're reaching, but normally you get like a business line or something. So once I kind of got my head straight and went back to blocking out the first chunk of my day towards that, then lead flow was a lot more consistent, and getting from 1 to 10 became a lot easier. And I wasn't struggling with fulfillment on the back end because I was just selling one thing, being the voice AI and like conversational chatbots to make the most out of their existing leads. So that was the biggest bottleneck, was lead flow. Fixed it by prioritizing it and just making sure that I stayed consistent with those daily actions. Who's Chris Williamson? Chris Williamson is a podcaster. His podcast is called Modern Wisdom. I'm a big fan. You can check him out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. A lot of good stuff. A lot of like philosophy, bro science-y kind of stuff, which is up my alley. And yeah, so that's the live show I was at last night. He did, because I live in Austin, and he did a preliminary live show because he's about to go on his, I think it's his US tour or something, and he's doing a couple dry runs first, so it was like crowd of 25, 30 people maybe. And so yeah, it was cool. Got to see the preview. There we go. We got Jackson, Mississippi, 143. I have a lot of questions. What are your client industries? How do you find clients? What do you sell? How do you make AI automations? And if I were to start over, how would I do it? So current client industries are my existing martial arts consulting clients. And the new ones are more like boutique medical. So it is one of them is a skin laser clinic, which means like laser hair removal. So I call it boutique medical because it's not super necessary stuff. It's usually people paying higher prices for procedures that they don't necessarily need, but they want. Pretty popular growing industry. So those are the two. And I still have the martial arts one just because I have existing clients there and I still get referrals for that business. But that's something that I am phasing out of. How do I find clients for martial arts and for the boutique medical? I go Google Maps first right now, just because it's super easy to scrape. You can get a Chrome extension to scrape Google Maps and kind of collect all that information. And then you get there basically everything you need to do your cold outbound lead generation. So that would be, again, like I just said before, that'd be cold calls, which for boutique medical is kind of rough because you usually run into a front desk person, but it kind of plays into what I sell them anyways. But it'd be cold calls, DMs on like either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is nice because I found that the owners of those medical practices are a little bit more active on LinkedIn. So again, it's kind of industry specific on what channel will be the most useful for you in your outreach attempts. But email, so cold call, cold email, Instagram, Facebook DM, I count as one, and then LinkedIn DM. And then email, LinkedIn DM have been the most fruitful for my efforts in the boutique medical field. What do I sell? I am selling conversational chatbots and voice AI assistants. Basically help them recover lost leads that they're missing out on, either because their front desk person isn't very good or they're just not picking up the phone in general. So inbound calls, pick it up, voice AI books an appointment, and then they get to recover a potential lost customer there. They have a 24/7 support desk. How do you make AI automations? I mean, if you're starting from scratch, just go into YouTube and look up a system that's similar to what you have in mind. See if you can find like a tutorial walkthrough. And then what I would do, what I did to learn, because I don't have any kind of technical background, is I perfectly replicated the system. I started in make.com versus N8N. But follow along exactly, follow the step by step. And then after you have that version working, then go back, like duplicate it and make your tweaks to fit your specific use case and see if you can make it useful for yourself in your everyday life. Then you you get a lot more experience actually trying to apply it rather than doing some like hypothetical studying about every little intricacy inside of N8N make.com. I found you learn a lot quicker when you just get hands-on with it. So that's how I make the AI automations. Outside of that, when it's for like a client, I'll usually just go into like ChatGPT or Gemini, be like, hey, I want to do this. If you were like, how can I do this inside of either make.com or N8N? Then it'll give me like a good place to start, and then just make tweaks from there and just kind of play back and forth with whatever AI model you're using until you can get something that's operational. And I always go, I always go for simplicity over complexity and focusing whatever systems I'm building around revenue generating activities for the business itself. So I make AI automations by first identifying what problem I'm solving, which for me, it was these guys were getting a lot of calls, too many calls, they weren't able to handle all of them. And so I thought, okay, what can I build to handle some of this and get them booked in for appointments? It was voice AI, and then I just started Googling what is the best voice AI like software, so I don't have to build it from scratch, which was Retail AI at the time. I think it still is. And then I also found out that that is what Go High Level uses on their back end for their voice AI assistant. And since I already pay for that software, it just cut out a chunk of the learning curve because it integrated directly there. Anyways, after I found out what software I wanted to use, it was just down to prompting. And so I found some prompting guides on best practices for voice agents. Then I went through that, did a bunch of iterations, played around with it, did quality tests with it, and then rolled it out from there. All right, this last one. If I were to start over, how would I do it? I would go to Google Maps. From absolute scratch, I would narrow down on one super specific hyper niche that is in pain, has money to pay me, is growing, and what's the fourth criteria? In pain, has money, is growing. Something else. Go watch my niche pick your niche video. I'm a little tired right now. Anyway, wait, I think it's right over here. There we go. Here we go. If you want this is inside of my school community called Make Money with AI, which is teaching you how to go from 0 to 1 with actually making money instead of just building like systems that nobody wants. So that's what this is all about. This is not a super technical program on how to become the best AI engineer in the world. This is how to make money with it, because that's what I care about. And hopefully that's why you're watching this channel. Anyways, back to the pick a niche thing. So if you want to grab it, it's inside there. This is what I would do, step by step. List 5 to 10 micro niches that I could serve. Score them on pain, purchasing power, how easy they are to target, and if they're growing. Then build a 100 contact list of the top 2. And then basically test out a super no-brainer offer, see where I get the most responses. Then based on where I get the most traction, pick that, and then I just commit for 90 days with that cold outreach. That is exactly what I would do if I was starting from scratch. All right. This is a long one. Thank you for addressing man, but for the outreach, I'm scared that Instagram can block my account if I do 100 DMs a day. Yeah, that is my bad. I did say do 100 outreaches, but I didn't specify where. My friend went for 30 and his account got blocked for chats. So I only go for 10. In ads library, I don't get a lot of business, to be honest. There are a few businesses who are there in ads library, and most of the ads are of comics or other stuff. It's not my search problem because I search remodelers with city name, but again, it's just too hard to get even 200 at this point. I think because US and Canada are very big in compared to Australia. Okay, so let's pause right here. So instead of doing 100 DMs a day, split that up between cold call, cold email, LinkedIn DMs, and then Facebook/Instagram DMs. So you can pump out a lot more calls and emails than you can with the DMs, because you will hit that hard cap on how many you can send a day before you get flagged. So I'd spread that across channels there. All right, for this section, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. So you can't find 200 remodelers in ad library. I mean, definitely going to be in there, because I think US, Canada, Australia are all going to have like more than 200 people running ads for remodels. But again, you are targeting just people that are running ads. It might be worth expanding the search, or just changing up the search terms that you're using to find people in there. Because if you're getting stuck at below 200, I think that's just a search issue. All right. Then you can't make multiple accounts to reach out with, because you have high quality reels on the accounts, and doing that with many accounts is a hassle. Well, it is a hassle, but on the other side of that hassle is potentially thousands and thousands of dollars. So it might be worth just making a handful of reels for yourself. I can't tell if you do or if you don't already, but if you just have those reels, cross post them on like 5 or 6 different accounts, and then all of a sudden, instead of 10 a day, you have 60 a day for maybe a couple hours of work. So, and that's the kind of work that people aren't willing to do. That like you're talking about, what's your competitive advantage on the last post? That right there can be a major one. It's just being willing to do that extra step of work. Anyways, I'm kind of losing my voice here. Last problem is the owners don't want to record themselves and show themselves on cameras. The agencies are also very professional, making high quality videos to make them look more legit. I think this might just be a bit of a limiting belief you have here. It seems like you've mentioned these other agencies a lot of times, but I mean, if your value proposition is clear, then you don't really need to worry about what the other agencies are doing. Outside of that, you can always make videos around the projects themselves so that the owners are not on camera, and then you can just do a voiceover, or even use like an 11 Labs voice for the voiceover, and then scrape their like Google reviews and stuff like that in order to get better quality ads like that. Okay, that's good that you have an ad budget for them in order for the guarantee. What do you think you should do next that'll put you on the correct path? So, a couple things. If you're willing to kick up some more accounts with those reels and just like cross post them, I think that's a dynamite idea. So then you could like 10x your DM outreach if that's your most fruitful channel right now. I wouldn't be against layering in like cold email just to get you to that 100 a day, and then LinkedIn is another avenue that you can go down. So just double down on outreach. I know you're saying it's hard to find people, but just like for ad library, let's see. And then you're looking for remodelers. Are you saying you're looking just for remodeler and city name? I would try to find like a massive list of what these remodeling companies are called, and then start searching those specifically. Yeah, because like, yeah, this is going to be pretty rough. So let's look up. Let's go with that. And you'll see here, like, a lot of these don't have the city name in their names. Probably not in their copy either, especially if they're not very good at running ads. Yes, we're only getting like 6 results here. But instead, let's check out Corner Construction Company. And so this is like your next best step is dedicate the first couple hours of your day just doing stuff like this. And it might be worth going outside of people that are already running ads. So I can see how this can be pretty tedious. But yeah, I mean, it's just, this is the grind of outreach, to be honest. Especially if you're being particular about if they're running ads or not. Appify might have a scraper for this, actually. That might be worth checking out. Anyways, hope that helps. Feel free to drop any follow-up you have if you were confused or have any questions about anything that I was talking about. Would you like to share what Chrome extensions you use for YouTube and productivity use? I don't use any for that. Like, I have an ad blocker. But mostly the phone was an issue for me. Not, like, I don't really watch YouTube and stuff on my laptop. So just deleting the apps off my phone was the biggest thing. I was a little iPad baby. The t-shirt you wore, I had the same one too. It was really pretty shirt, but my sister took it. I love that shirt. It's a Gymshark shirt. It says it across the chest here. But I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, and then we have this last question that I'm going to save for tomorrow because I'm losing my voice. A little update on the work stuff today. Had a couple kickoff calls with some new members, for some new clients. And then we closed another one for 4K today initially, and then it's on 2K recurring. So that was pretty nice. So I'll probably update the title to reflect the new monthly revenue thing. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. And we're at 558 subs, so that's pretty awesome. Thanks, you guys. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate it. Check out the school community if you're into that. If not, no big deal. Love y'all anyways. See you tomorrow.